Folks, welcome into the Crossing Swords pregame show. I'm your host, Ty B, joined by Dwayne, and we got Monster as our special guest today. A lot to talk about here before this game where the Buffalo Sabres are in Washington, D.C. to take on the Washington Capitals in this one. Really big match for the Sabres where they've dropped the last two after coming off the COVID little bit of a break there, and they got a tough matchup against Washington, who find themselves struggling a bit, but still in a playoff spot here, Dwayne.
Yeah, we just had Samantha Pell on earlier today from the Washington Post for Two Goalies, One Mike, and we talked a lot about that, how, Vanacek is actually getting ready to start his 12th straight game, which is insane if you think about it with this condensed schedule. So that's something Buffalo's got to try and take advantage of tonight. Like, you have a tired goalie. His numbers aren't nearly as good as they were last time we were playing against the Capitals. But I think that also, goes hand in hand with the fact he's played as much as he has. There hasn't been a reliable backup there for him. So he's tired for sure. So you got to try and take advantage of that at Buffalo. If you can't take advantage of a goalie who's clearly exhausted and in his 12th straight game, 12th straight start, honest to God, you must just wave the white flag because you have to take advantage of that tonight.
Yep, we'll get more into Vanacek a little bit later. I want to throw it over to Monster to get his feelings a bit on the state of the Sabres. Most people know Monster for his antics, before the Bills games, during the Bills games, getting everyone fired up. Make sure you follow him on Twitter over at Monster Inc. 9177. But Monster, you're a big Sabres fan.
Yes, I am. I'm a huge Sabres fan just as long as I've been a Bills fan. And I got to be honest, I don't know what the fuck the problem is. Like, it's got to be something. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be something from the coaching to whatever. We signed Stahl, figured it was a good move. We bring in Hall, you know what I mean? Like, something's supposed to happen, and it didn't. Like, where does that fall? Is Ralph Kruger just good at talking but isn't really a good coach because he's got us all snowed? And for Christ's sake, superstars got to they got to show up. You got to make superstar plays. You think back 3-4 years ago when Toronto was the same spot we are. Look where they are now, and we're still sitting there treading water. Jack doesn't look like he wants to be here. You know what I mean? I don't know what to do with this franchise.
Oh, no, absolutely. It's left us all in utter confusion right now. I just see this game here, too, against the Capitals and Vanacek. Vanacek has had the Sabres numbers. You talk about it. He's not playing as well as he was in those earlier games, but he's played very, very well against the Sabres, whether it's just the Sabres sucking or Vanacek figuring something out against the Sabres. Dwayne, here we're going to get some of these guys back a little bit, and you're getting closer to a normal roster, but it's still not fully there. You don't have that full training. Obviously, Risto's going to need more time. Looks like Tage Thompson slotting back up onto that first line, and you move Skinner back down. You got Hall with Stahl and Reinhardt again. Do you see this team being able to find some goals tonight? Because it was ugly against the Islanders.
If they can't find goals tonight, like I said, you must just pack your shit, as Mike Commodore would say. Like, it's just like, again, you have everything working in your favor tonight. Granted, the Penguins, the Capitals just broke a 4-game losing streak against the Penguins. Granted, they have guys like Alexander Ovechkin, Nick Backstrom, Vrana, just to name a couple. But the fact of the matter is, I can't stress it enough, you have a very tired goaltender. You should be shooting from everywhere tonight. You should be literally putting pucks on from with any opportunity you can. Because as a goalie, when you're that tired and you're playing that often, your legs just are feeling a little bit heavier. You have to get rubber on this kid. Keep the pucks on him. And I know again, with Ristolainen not in the lineup, it sucks because he's been probably our most consistent defenseman next to Jake McCabe. But it seems like the COVID bug hit him harder than most. Same thing with Samsonov in Washington. That's why he's not playing. He got hit hard. He's in his rehab stint right now with Hershey. He got hit hard with COVID. It really took a toll on him. Same thing with Ristolainen. Hopefully he gets better sooner rather than later. But until then, man, you really have to make do with what you have. And, I'm kind of disappointed Will Borgen isn't in the lineup tonight. I liked a lot of what I saw from his first 2 games.
Yep.
But, it is what it is. That's not what Ralph Kruger wants to go. That's not the direction he wants to go in, I guess. I would preferably want a more aggressive, physical defenseman in my lineup for a game like tonight.
No, absolutely. I don't like you. Will Borgen has, some pretty good showings in those first appearances this year. He goes out there, gets sent back down to the taxi squad. They were calling right before it, and then they still say, "Yeah, sorry, you're going to be watching from upstairs." I don't really understand the logic on this one. Let Borgen get out there, let him play. You know what you have in some of these other guys, whether it's Montour or Jake McCabe or Colin Miller. Like, sit one down for a night, let Borgen get some time because he's earned it. Monster. I think this is something that's kind of been plaguing the Sabres for years, is you have these same retread guys here, and we have these names we talk about that are down in Rochester, wherever else, and they could be getting some time up here so we could see whether we have something or not, and they just don't give them that time, so we just sit on these prospects forever, and then they don't pan out.
You know what that says to me? That says to me that somebody in upper management is like, these are the guys we pay. These are the guys that are going to play. Because why wouldn't you? The team's shit in the bed. We haven't scored any goals. Why wouldn't you shake it up? You know what I'm saying? We got a top-line winger who can't fucking score 5-on-5, but you're a top-line winger, Olofsson. I love Olofsson. He can't score 5-on-5. He can't create space. He's a finisher. That's why he works in the power play. Skinner hasn't showed up. We pay him $40 million because he plays like a fucking rock star with Eichel, and then we move him away from Eichel. Like I don't get, you know what I'm saying, where it's going with this. When's Rasmus Dahlin going to show up? Where's this fucking superstar Swede defenseman that we all watch highlights of that we drafted first overall? I'm sick of every 3-4 games they come out with another excuse for Rasmus Dahlin. Oh, it's development. Oh, he's young. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine. Well, when's he going to show up? Because we really need that on the back end. It's like our team is built to fly. Like, it's speed, it's skill, except for Okposo, but God only knows why the fuck he's still on our team because of his contract. Nobody wants him. But it just seems like we're running the wrong scheme. Like, this team is built to fly.
No, exactly. That's what we were saying.
Every time I watch them.
You keep adding guys to score. You go out, you get Jeff Skinner, then you go out and you get Taylor Hall. You're getting guys to get up and down the ice and to put the puck in the back of the net. So let them play that game. Quit having them worry about setting up these perfect transitions over and over again. These guys have some of the best skill all around. Like, Taylor Hall is a former MVP winner. Jeff Skinner, we've seen what he can do when he's allowed to play how he likes to play, which is, getting around and being creative. And then he's allowed to show off those experts skating skills. And he's not able to do that right now. And I think it's the same thing with Rasmus Dahlin. We saw a little bit in Housley's system when he was allowed to open things up. That's when we saw those flashes. And since then, those flashes have been less and less less and less often. And that's the issue, is he's not giving or being given those opportunities. He's being forced into a different role than where his strong suit is. And by doing that, you're not getting, the potential out of him like you should be. And I don't think he's developing into the player he should be, Dwayne. I think this is something that happened with Hedman at first as well.
Yeah, in defense of Rasmus Dahlin, he is the second highest scoring teenage defenseman of all time, behind Phil Housley. 84 points in his first 2 years, 1 year which was cut short by COVID. So honestly, he probably would have been the first highest scoring teenage defenseman had it not been for COVID last year, cutting short that season. But with that being said, again, Victor Hedman, Dahlin is the most highly touted defenseman to come out of a draft since Victor Hedman. Victor Hedman didn't score, I believe it was 30 points total in a season until his fifth season. Rasmus Dahlin did it as a rookie. Actually, he was trending towards 50 points as a rookie. So I'm not really too worried about Rasmus Dahlin. I mean, granted, again, he is 20 years old and he is playing. This is another new system, and he's asking to be. Again, he's not a defensive defenseman. He is a dynamo, surefire, puck-carrying, puck-moving defenseman, and that's what he needs to be doing right now. But unfortunately, with the way this team is built, especially up front, he doesn't get that many opportunities to carry the puck through the neutral zone like you would see like an Erik Karlsson, like you would see a Victor Hedman, who where they do like to start the breakout from the back end. And again, that's also Eichel's responsibility too. Eichel normally likes to start the breakout when he's out there, but again, Eichel's only out there for 1 out of every 4 shifts. Dahlin, that's the thing with Dahlin. It's he's being asked, like you said, Ty, to do things that aren't normally his skill set, and it sucks because the best way to create the best way to play defense is to play offense, right? Like if you're spending all the time in the offensive zone, you're not spending time in your defensive zone. I mean, like one carries the other, and that's just not the way it is right now. We get pinned in our own end a lot. And again, he's not a stay-at-home defenseman. It's why I said going into the season, we need to get him a stay-at-home defenseman to play along with. I know Travis Hamonic only wanted to play in Western Canada for family reasons, but that was the type of guy you needed to bring in here. A guy that, like, I like to think back when in the Calgary days when Dion Phaneuf was in Calgary, he had Robin Regehr as his defenseman partner.
Mm-hmm.
We know about Robin Regehr in Buffalo here. He's a very good, aggressive stay-at-home defenseman.
Brent Burns, Eric Carlson.
Dion Phaneuf was able to do what he did because he had a guy like Robin Regehr playing alongside him, because he got that guy back there to clean up your mistakes and provide you with that space in your own end to be that type of a defenseman. Same thing with Dahlin. You need that type of a defensive partner. Guys like Colin Miller aren't going to get it done. Guys like Brendan Montour, I'm sorry that experiment has blown up in their face. Like that, I'm over Brendan Montour.
Montour's ass.
Well, yeah, and isn't that like the real big problem with this entire roster is all these guys performed pretty well, and then you bring them to Buffalo, and they've all done worse. They've all regressed. And whether that's coaching, your management, your development, it's got to be some form of that, or it's something, hurting their morale that's causing it. Like it could be, any number of those things added up, but it's got to be something internally here that's got to get fixed. But before we get into our predictions, I got to give a shout out to our sponsor, Manscaped. They are the best in men's below the waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision engineered tools for your family jewels. They obsess over their technology developments to provide you the best tools for your grooming experience, whether it's the little flashlight on there, the ceramic blades so that you don't nick your balls, keep them nice and safe. Manscaped is trusted by over 2 million men worldwide. Join the movement for all your below-the-waist grooming needs. Promo code TRAINWRECK over at manscaped.com. Get yourself 20% off plus free shipping. Again, 20% off plus free shipping with promo code TRAINWRECK. And yes, this JDH hoodie also fire promo code TRAINWRECK, 10% off over there at justedition.com. Wow. All right, but Monster, I'm going to throw it to you, then Dwayne, your predictions for tonight. Can the Sabres get back into the win column, or are we just going to be screaming online again?
I think it's the latter. What do the Sabres need to do to make Monster happy? They need to play hockey. Park somebody in front of the net. Like, we have no grit. Like, we got all these fancy fucking footwork, guys. Where's the muscle? Where's the grit? Like, we need somebody to fight against the boards and win those battles.
Yeah, they got a bunch of snipers and playmakers on their lines. We need some power forwards.
We need a couple
grinder.
We need a couple of markers.
Yeah, they have intangibles. Like, we need people that'll do that, but I don't know. I think that
I would love a Zach Cassian right now.
They've shown me nothing in the last 4 or 5 games that would make me think that we're going to stand there with Washington, whether they're tired or not. You know what I'm saying? I don't have hope. I don't have faith. Like, you got to fucking show me something. All this money, all this talent, all these snipers, and you're doing dick. Like, play fucking hockey. And if Kruger's system's not working, then you pull the guys to the side and you go, all right, fuck what he's doing. Let's just play hockey. Like, somebody's got to make a call. Like, these guys got to show up. There's a lot of fucking money, and there's no Genos on the board. Like, you can't blame it all on Allmark.
Right. It was just announced. Lineups are announced. Borgen is in. They must have heard this. The Crossing Swords to Goes Mike pregame show. Thanks for making that call, Ralph. Glad to help.
Thank God.
But with good news comes bad news. Tage Thompson is on the top line.
Yep, like I thought. That's great.
So,
so what do you got for your prediction?
What?
Fucking
giraffe.
3-2 Buffalo win.
It's a giraffe. Like, what?
Well, let's hopefully the Sabres can at least get a couple goals. Let's give us some exciting hockey. Give us something to talk about and not scream about. Dwayne, for you, Monster, and myself, we want to say thank you all for tuning in. We're going to be back between the intermissions. I don't know if Monster, you're free all night. You're free to come back and rant with us all night long. So make sure you stay tuned at Trainwreck on Twitter, over on the YouTube and the Twitch as well. Make sure you follow at Crosswords Pod for information and fun stuff throughout the game as well. We got 3 words for you. Let's go